Hello everybody, my name is Ryan and this is lesson 7 of working with HTML and CSS. In this lesson we'll learn how to add a shortcut icon or favorite icon into our web page. To do this we need to create a file using some sort of photo editor, and the file needs to be saved as favicon.ico. If you want to, you can give it another name, but the advantage of using favicon.ico is that the browser automatically picks it up without you having to add any additional HTML coding. So if you had to name your file with a different name, for example icon.ico, the way you would have to insert that into your browser would be with this link tag. Remember, we used the link tag in the previous lesson when we added CSS, but this time the type is going to be different. Instead of being text/CSS, it's going to be image, that's the main category, /x-shortcut-icon, and the relationship is going to be a shortcut icon, and the href will be pointing to whatever the name of the file is, the ICO file. So this link tag is not actually necessary if you have saved your favorite icon with this exact file name, favicon.ico. If you have, however, chosen a different file name, you would need to insert this link tag into your head section of every page in order for that favorite icon to show up. Okay, so I'm going to go for the first method where we don't need to add any additional coding, and I'm going to save my favorite icon as favicon.ico. So first of all, you might be asking, what is a favorite icon? Well, if we go to a web browser and you look at, for example, my shortcut bar or my favorites, some of these links have an icon next to it with a logo or something similar. So for example, if I had to go to the website spamcop.net, have a look at this icon that appears in the tab. You'll notice also when you look at your bookmarks, the ones that you've added to your favorites, some don't have an icon, so they have a blank white page next to them, but others do have an icon. So for example, we go to w3schools.com. Note the icon that appears next to the web address. Okay, so that's called the favorite icon or the fav icon, and one of the requirements of this icon is it needs to be exactly 16 pixels by 16 pixels, so it's completely square. So to create a favorite icon like this, you could use software such as Photoshop, and then just make sure you save the file with the ICO extension. Make sure that you size it as 16 by 16 pixels. Another program you could use is free software called GIMP. I'm going to quickly show you the software. The nice thing about the GIMP program is that it's free software, and it also works for Windows, Linux and Mac. What you do is you go to the menu and you're asked to open up a file. For example, I have already got a logo which I've created, and I just want the logo portion as my favorite icon. So with this tool you can actually crop an area, and the trick now is to get it exactly the right size. I need to get it as a exact square, not a rectangle, square. So I'm looking at the ratio figure at the bar at the bottom here as I'm resizing it, and I'm trying to get the ratio 1:1. Then I know that I've got an exact square. So I'm close now. You just tweak it a little bit. Almost had it there. Exactly. If it's slightly out, it's not the end of the world, but ideally you want to try and get it as close to 1:1 as possible. Okay, I'll just leave it at that and crop it there. So there's my logo. And then the next thing is to size it down to 16 by 16. So we'll say file or image, scale image. I'll make it 16 by 16. It's really small now, so I'm gonna have to zoom in before you'll see it. Teeny weeny. If I zoom in, you'll see it. Okay. So once you're happy with it, we'll export it as a RCO file. I think it's called the Windows icon. Microsoft Windows icon. And we'll save it as favicon.rco. And then you can decide how you want to do it. I'm just going to compress it. Maybe we shouldn't compress it. Export. And it's saved. So in order to test this, we're going to need to copy this favicon to a web server. We can't just run it on our local computer, because when we, for example, opened up a local file on our computer, then the web address didn't say www or something like that. It was file something or C drive something. So this will not allow us to see the favorite icon, even if we have a favorite icon present. So what I'm going to need to do is upload this web page to a web server in order to view the favorite icon. So in other words, live on the internet. Okay, so let me go to my file manager, and then I'll go to my directory. I've got my favorite icon over there. I'll copy that along with my lesson 7, and I'm going to paste it on a server which I have access to, and I've created a test folder, and I'm going to just replace these files that are there. So there's my favorite icon, there's my lesson7.html. So now to access this on our server, I'll go to the web address of this, and I'll probably, if you look there, you'll see there's the icon. It's not, the resolution isn't very good, but nonetheless the icon is present, and you'll see that if you add it to your favorites, you can have a look there. You'll see the icon also appears, and no code was necessary. All I had to do was make sure that the file was saved as favicon.rco. Another way you can create your favorite icon if you don't have access to a graphic program, there's a nice website called favicon.cc. And if you go to this website, you can actually draw your very own icon by just choosing a color and then sketching it out. Or you can even import an image of your choice by choosing a file from your machine, and you can upload it, and there's something that's been created from an existing JPEG or PNG. You can tweak it if you want to, and then you just say download it, and it downloads it to your machine. Make sure you save it as favicon.rco, and then the same procedure follows. And that's how you insert a favorite icon into your web page.